It's Valentine's Day, as you may have noticed, or Valentine's weekend, or Valentine's week, or however it is that they sort of string it out. So, Heart Eyes, which is the first of two, maybe three Valentine's Day releases. This is a comedy horror slasher, or a homedy, whatever it was I called it before, from Josh Rubin, who made Scare Me and Werewolves Within, and who said of the film, "My love of horror is rivaled only by my love of romantic comedies. I'm so excited to mount my most challenging genre bender to date, a brutal slasher in a nostalgic rom-com universe." So the script is by Philip Murphy, Michael Kennedy, Christopher Landon, shot in New Zealand, although honestly you wouldn't know it, for under $20 million. So, a comparatively cheap movie. Opens with a couple in a cheesily orchestrated proposal situation, and it's super cheesy and it's super naff, and then it turns super bloody because they get gorily killed by this killer, the Heart Eyes Killer, who is a killer who strikes on Valentine's Day. The opening killing is kind of like, it's like Friday the 13th sort of gore. So lots of blood, lots of entrails. It's rated 18 for strong bloody violence and gore, but none of the sort of cruel nastiness of, for example, the Terrifier. I mean, it's popcorn stuff. It's fun. It's it's Three Stooges. It's blood and guts for custard pies. So the Heart Eyes Killer apparently strikes on Valentine's Day. Where will he strike next? Well, turns out Seattle. So here, Allie, played by Olivia Holt, who was recently made her Broadway debut as Roxy Hart in Chicago, is about to get fired from this jewelry company on Valentine's Day because she's masterminded a campaign that is entirely based around doomed love. So Romeo and Juliet, Titanic, all that sort of stuff, which now looks like a very sick campaign in light of the fact that the Heart Eyes Killer is killing people on Valentine's Day. Mason Gooding, son of Cuba Gooding, who was in Love, Victor and is known from the Scream franchise, is the hip marketeer who is parachuted in to save the company, save the day. He tells Ali, well, we have to have a meeting. And in order to have a meeting, we must go and have dinner. This is on Valentine's Day. They must go and have dinner at a restaurant. She doesn't want to go, but she goes anyway. And as they leave the restaurant, they are spied by the Heart Eyes Killer. Despite the fact that they are absolutely not a couple, the Heart Eyes Killer starts pursuing them right back to her apartment, where she is attempting to remove a bit of glass from his hand because he's cut his hand. Here's a clip.
Did you go to med school or something?
I dropped out, actually. I really can't do blood. Anyway, now I'm considered homophobic.
Oh, I didn't take you for a bigot.
Okay. Your dad jokes are top-notch. But I'm being facetious, obviously. Your jokes are cheesy as...
Allie! Allie! Hold it! What are you doing?
So she goes to the cupboard, opens the door, there's the Heart Eyes Killer, everything kicks off. Here's the thing, I thought this was surprisingly entertaining stuff. I went in with no expectations at all because I knew nothing about it. Nicely sort of anti-romantic and yet still kind of romantic edge. The odd couple affair that the two are not having is funny because the recurrent joke is they keep trying to tell the heart, why are you chasing us? We're not even a couple, which I think works well. The theatrical slasher stuff is full on. So, I mean, it is properly gory in the way of the kind of later Friday the 13th movies. It's gleefully gooey. Horror comedy is something that's very hard to get right. Usually, if you make a horror comedy, it's either not funny and not scary. And yet this is never scary, but it's well done. And if you're a gore fan, which I am, then great. But there's lots of sort of razor-sharp gags about love and Valentine's Day and the silliness of it all that somehow pulls it all together. So I sat there, as I said, with no expectation at all and thought, well, if I was having to go out for a Valentine's Day date night, this would work really well because I like horror and I like romance. So yeah, it's like Love Actually but with axes.
Right. Okay. Well, that could go on the poster. Child 3 was very excited about Josh Rubin because he doesn't know about the film, but he does know about Josh Rubin's comedy.
Right.
His stand-up, and he showed me a clip of Josh Rubin on a comedy show, and he's asked to do an impression of Mads Mikkelsen giving an award to a child. so for reading or something. And so Josh Rubin does what I'm reassuringly told by child one as a very good Danish accent, but does an impression of Mads Mikkelsen being very threatening and inappropriate.
Brilliant.
So, and I didn't know it, but Josh Rubin not only can make films that you like, but he can make people laugh, when he's doing his own stand-up and he's doing his own comedy.
Yeah, and I did laugh a lot during Heart Eyes.
Good.
I mean, much more than I have done in many alleged comedies. So it's a horror comedy which is probably funny.